I know, problem. It's like, trying to answer them.
Are you expired or you're okay?
Ready to go.
All right. I get worried when I see you. Oh no, we lost another one. Welcome. Good to see all of you. My, doesn't time fly when you're having fun? Right. Was that sarcastic enough for you? Here we are. Welcome to the last class of EDUC 635, and welcome to your last class at Sierra Nevada College. Your journey has ended through your program in phase 1, and now with the completion of phase 2, hopefully you'll all make it. We may have to drag you across the finish line, but we're working at it. If you don't have your project tonight completed, I will see you in the spring for $6.99. Let's start tonight. I'm going to give you some information about what our schedule is for this evening. We have a lot to accomplish, but I want to give you as much time as possible to work with your project director. So, this evening, the most important thing, and my wonderful husband, you know, let's give Jim a big round of applause. Yes, thank you, Jim.
Other duties as assigned.
I know. Didn't know when we stood at the altar that you'd get this one. But trust me, when I'm trying to talk you guys off the ledge, he's right there beside me talking me off the ledge. Because I'm stressed over all of you. Anyway, so I'm so grateful. And the fact that he does this for Katie, for Tim, our distant students, and also tonight for Kristen that cannot be with us. So let's take a look at what our agenda is for this evening. First, we're going to sign up, as I mentioned in my email earlier today, for your presentations, the defense of your project. Then we are going to take a look at what your presentation will look like, your defense. And many of you attended last semester our EDUC, no you didn't.
Yeah.
Did you? Spring, yes you did, yes. Sorry. It's been a busy day today too. I was thinking, wait a minute, where are we? This is fall, we didn't have class in the summer. Correct, in the spring you attended. So you will see what that looks like through our discussion this evening. But specifically tomorrow morning, I will send you presentations that Jim, again, of course, has filmed for the spring, which I think you were there, Lorian. They were amazing. Ashley and Nicole and Alyssa. It was quite impressive. It was. If any of you, you might have been there, I'm trying to remember. It was a Tuesday night. And we have some excellent video of presentations that occurred in the spring. So I'll send it out to you. It's on YouTube, the link. So you'll have to open the YouTube link. And you can fast forward, of course. You don't have to listen to all of them. But when your project is done, then watch them. Please do. It will be very, very beneficial for some outstanding presentations. Sarah.
Sorry to interrupt. Two clarifying questions. So tonight, my two amazing mentees have provided everything except all the graphics. That is okay, right? It's the writing part is done.
I've seen their projects and they've got most, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
It
We
should
do
be.
that formatting part. And then the electronic, or the poster, we want electronic as PowerPoint and then also physical.
And I'll talk about that.
Okay,
Exactly. The hard copy requirements that you will bring to your presentation. You're absolutely right. And I purposely did not, as I said in my email today, send out an electronic poster sample or two to you as yet, because I wanted you to focus on your project. And once your project in the next week is closer to completion between you and your project director, then you can start on your poster, your electronic poster, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Thank you, Sarah, those are good questions. The last thing that we will do is you need to fill out your graduation paperwork, which will be paperwork that will go to the registrar so that you can present, defend, and pass the program. 635, Phase 2, 628 and 635. You are passing, as you know, both those classes are a pass, no pass class. You are passing that class, both classes. But in order to pass the entire program and finish at SNC with your Master of Arts in Teaching, you need to have an audit, which we've been working on. We all had a faculty meeting on Monday and discussed it. Your audits to confirm that you have taken all the required coursework to finish our program. So basically, I will let you know that you have completed all your coursework, but yet it is your responsibility to know about the coursework that you should have taken. Or your responsibility, of course, to be in touch with either Kelly or Chris or myself, your advisors, and continue to be up to date on what the coursework was that was needed for your completion of the program. Then we are going to talk about a couple of issues that some students are having with numbering their pages, and so we'll call upon some of you that are technologically more skilled than others to maybe help us with the page numbering. We have a couple of those issues, and let's see. Alrighty, let's start. That's how our evening is going to look tonight. Okay, I do know that I'm going to grab my marker here, and I'm going to give you a minute or two to speak with your students, project directors. Please collaborate. I know. Please collaborate, the two, yes, the two of you. Kelly and Chris will be going first because their plate, I know, because they're special, but their plate is very full with teaching classes that week. That is our last week of classes, as you well know. So Kelly, you need Monday, correct?
I need Thursday.
You need Thursday, and Chris needs Tuesday. Okay, so please talk with your students for just a moment, and I will start writing up some days to alert the media that you have completed the program and now will be defending your Master of Arts in Teaching professional project.
And
All right.
Cheryl will be in this room?
Pardon? Oh, thank you very much, Sarah, for saying that. So, because space is always an issue, the presentations will be up here in Incline for this semester to complete our fall semester. But we may be in here, we may be downstairs. Last semester in the spring, we were all over the place. It's just availability of classrooms. And it is all about the final schedule, Chris. They really, yeah.
But they'll have time to get in and get set up wherever.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will give them time, but most important, we do have to kind of squeeze in between the final schedule because that's already been created, and we don't have our schedule until we see who passes.
How do we have time to like set whatever up in between, like when somebody's presenting?
Right.
You don't want to interrupt. How do you, when is the time? Is it just 20
Oh,
minutes?
you use a flash drive, right?
Yeah, and
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you that, Jennifer, in just a second.
Okay, sorry.
No, don't let me forget to remind you of that.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock for
Thank you.
Deanna. Okay.
Thank you.
Cheryl, 5:30 Monday, if it's available.
Oh,
Is this how this goes?
Well, I
Maybe we should dismiss the students.
I was gonna go in order, but I know.
4 o'clock for Katie on Monday.
Here's the deal. We have, tell me what, Katie,
Katie J. Just said,
and what,
we're gonna try 4. She'd like 3:30, but 4 will be fine.
Okay, we can try 3, okay. We'll put her here, but maybe we could move her.
Sure.
All right, on Monday.
Right,
The
and then
ninth.
Rob can do 5:30.
Okay, this is our distance
I'll do
student.
5 if
You'll do
you
5.
5:30.
Oh, I don't, it doesn't, I'm gonna call in sick right there.
Maybe
Oh, yes.
We're calling in sick.
3:30 or 3 o'clock, we'll try. I need to get another panel.
You
You call it sick for the
So here,
presentation, is
very
that the idea?
quickly, another very important
Actually, you know how I do it.
point is that your project director must attend your defense, they must be on your panel. And also, we have a minimum of 3 faculty members. I'm here every day, so I count as 1, and then your project director is 2, and then depending on how many we usually have 4, because each of you have at the most 4 students. Those of you that are project directors. But with that said, we've got to have 3, a minimum of 3 faculty members. So this is why we're kind of juggling all of this.
So then Chris and Kelly are not, I'm just thinking faculty-wise, they're teaching on a,
But they'll be, right, they're teaching
Okay.
all these other days,
Okay.
but they will have to be, Chris will have to be here on Tuesday,
Right.
which is the only day that she's not teaching that week.
okay.
Kelly will have to be here on Thursday,
Mhm.
which is the only day. So Thursday, it'll be Kelly and I, and then, oh, and Lorraine, and so forth.
Well,
So
just
a
to make sure
minimum
I'm-
of 3.
Yeah, I'm flexible that week besides Wednesday, so I can also be present for,
So Robert, can you do, since Katie is Monday, can you do Monday also?
Yeah, I'd like to do Monday at 5.
At 5, okay. All right, and then, Michael,
5:30 if it's
on
Monday.
what day?
On Monday.
Okay, for Anton. Started to put down Michael. Michael, you can present if you want. All right, who wants to go next? Zulema?
I would love to have Friday.
Friday, right, because you're driving up. And what about you, Melissa?
That's fine.
Okay, great. What time do you girls prefer?
Go at 5. I'll
Five.
go at 4:50.
Okay, all righty. Melissa? And
What happens if
Zulema?
it's a snowstorm?
virtual.
There's no excuse.
There's.
We won't allow it.
Yeah.
You can't believe some of the snowstorms that some of our students and project directors have driven up on. Well, and us too, yeah, definitely. Nathan?
I'll take Friday 5:30. I'll go
Okay,
nice.
okay, 5:30, and then,
What about some of our
Alright,
distance
but don't
people?
make it for Wednesday, I can.
I know Katie's one.
Sarah, what about Amber?
I'm fine with any time but Wednesday.
Okay,
So
4
if you want,
o'clock on Friday then? Can you do 4 o'clock Friday? If-
Do Elizabeth because she's distance.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
forgive me, Elizabeth. What would you, you're going to attend, right? Not Zoom up, if the weather's good.
Yeah.
The backup is we'll Zoom if the weather is poor. But what is your preference? Thank you.
Thursday or Friday.
Thursday or Friday?
And then I guess the only issue is that Lynn can't really get here before 5.
Right.
Worst comes to worst, I'll just take, I'll just sneak out a little bit early. I mean, if everything starts getting
Oh,
looked at.
sure,
Why
that's
don't, your
easy.
schedule is tougher than anybody else's, so why don't you pick a day and I'll just be sure I'm here.
Well, both of you, what are you thinking?
You choose because I'm flexible. Thursday or Friday both work, whichever one.
Let's do Thursday, give us a little bit more.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday's okay, Elizabeth? Okay, so we've got 4:30 and 5:30?
I'll do the 4:30.
Okay, and then Elizabeth is 5:30?
So then they can be still 4:30, so they can focus on my students. Right, yeah.
Oh,
Bree.
I know. I thought, I'm missing something. It's Bree. You want 4:30,
Yep.
correct? Okay, thank you. All right. So Lynn, this works for you.
Yeah. I'll make-
Okay, so on that day, we will have myself, Kelly, and we'll have Lorraine, and we'll have Kelly, and we'll have Lynn. So we'll have a good crowd.
Forgot to write.
Nathan, I'm sorry. Nate, where are you?
Right there, 5:30.
Okay. And then Amber, Are you okay with 4 o'clock on Friday?
I
Can you
prefer
make it?
not Friday, but
But that means Sarah has to drive out twice, and that's, yeah. You three need to,
I'm flexible with it.
no, you three need to decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Tuesday, that's the one day that's left that I'm available.
Good.
4:30.
That's nice. All right. Let's see, 4:30 for both of you? Skylar and Mariel?
Roseanne, but
Yeah, really.
no, I get that. I was too bright.
we'll do
right,
Skylar first
you
and
know what?
Ariel, 'cause she's driving from Trenton, how about that?
That's true. Well, he's driving from Reno.
Get the team together.
So we'll do
Right,
her first.
here.
Her name comes first in the alphabet. So we'll do Mariel.
I usually schedule like 7 a.m. on Monday morning.
Okay.
Please,
Okay, now, well, Wednesday.
Amber will take the 4 on Fridays.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
I was gonna say, that could be the emergency day.
I know, the cleanup day, exactly. Well, I need to get my student tour. You want to do 4:30 on
Sure,
Monday?
or Wednesday works too. If anybody has to go on Monday, that has.
Okay, thank you for being flexible. All right, have we got everybody? 1, 4, 8. One more. All right, and then we've got Katie, we've got Robert, Tim.
Is that it? Can we do it?
I need, nope, wait, Kelly, one more. I'll work Tim in somewhere. Tim is a distance student out of Sacramento, so he'll probably Zoom. I can work him in somehow. And Winship, what date is Winship coming down to Reno? Or Thursday. Okay, good, then maybe I could pull him in.
Yeah.
Pull him in. Okay,
You ready?
thank you. Yes, Kelly, thank you very much. All right, we're good. Okay, please write this date down because now, very exciting, you are going to complete your your graduation paperwork. In your SNC handbook, and I'm going to pass out hard copies right now, but in your SNC handbook, beginning on page 49, it discusses procedures of your graduation. It's a checklist for completion of your project and your graduation checklist. You can read this at a later time, but most important, prior to those pages and just after those pages are some paperwork that we need for the registrar for you to fill out as graduate students and for your project director to also sign. So we'll start with the first one, which is called the intent to present. And this is found on page 43, but I'm giving it to you now for you to complete and have your project director sign. So you are going to write this confirmed date in your, on this intent to present document. And then I will collect it. This is part of the paperwork that will be submitted to the registrar. Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys for working together. Okay, here we go. There you go.
Providing online research.
Do you guys want to, you're okay? This is your card? Okay, got
Title, project title. It's a mile long. Do you have that?
Okay. No biggie. I got one left, Deanna, so you gotta do it right. Okay.
Cheryl, you're gonna complete that meeting with Kristen on Friday.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, let's do that. And I'll be down there on Tuesday, so you can give it to me on Tuesday. On the 5th. What? Am I coming on Tuesday?
Because I thought you loved this.
Oh, I know. I do love you. And I just love driving that road.
Oh, yeah. Literally. It's like I do.
Yeah, that's fun, that's fun.
Date, form, file, do you want to request it for today or?
Today's date, right? And then you'll fill in the date that you are presenting. Please know, another disclaimer, this could change. It could definitely change. It's, can be tentative, and unfortunately, some may change, depending on whether or not you pass technical review. Did I not give it to you? I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Well,
There you go. How about you didn't finish my last name? Oh.
she messed up.
Oh, do you need it? What's that?
Can you show up with the comment?
Yeah. Do you mind? I was gonna.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, thank you.
I was wondering, I was like, the black one's different.
Yeah, well, in some pages like 30, some pages.
Oh, yeah. That would be easy. Let's see.
I got all the words in.
Okay.
Okay, so moving forward.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Pretty exciting.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Melissa and I were running up and over.
Yes.
They put graduate fall 2019.
Yes, that is the semester we have graduated. But I really hope, we only have graduation ceremonies for you to walk once a year in May. And it really is a wonderful experience, very different from your high school graduation. Hopefully you were sober during that time. You do have to be
Very
sober.
different.
It's the underground. And I say that, Robert, because Kelly and Chris and I have been at all the graduations. and-
Sober.
We have been sober, right? But then it is the undergrads that, are not. So you, no, not allowed. You can get unsober after, but not during. So please, let's make a good impression.
Professionalism.
Professionalism, right, exactly.
Unsober.
Unsober.
I'm gonna use that word.
Program.
I love it, I love it. It's a word now.
It is
Okay,
now.
all right. I created.
Yes, I'll make sure that you add it on.
You're unsober.
I'm halfway through.
I'll make sure that you add it over.
Having home.
And project directors, please know, many of you I know have your schedules. Thank you.
Mostly great. I did first.
But please know that you, as project directors, are welcome to walk during the ceremony and sit with our Department of Teacher Education, and we will get you cap and gowns. I know.
I have it in my office if you need one. First come, first served.
If you want
Did it get home?
2019 though, you should get it sooner rather than later. Because they purged them, the tassels.
Yes, that's true.
So get it sooner rather than later.
Good point. Through the, it's on the website, and you can look at that after your presentation, all of that is over. But it's on the website through the Prim Library. There's all sorts of graduation information. And you know what? I will send a link for that, for you to get information. You can kind of look at it after you planned or presented your project and defended. The next paperwork that we're going to work on is called the Incomplete in Progress Conversion Form. Don't panic over this. It's just paperwork that the registrar needs. As I said, you're passing this class. Just because you pass this class does not mean that you finish the program. It does not guarantee that you finish the program. All it means is you have passed this class until the audit is done, and we confirm that you have passed and completed all Phase 1 and Phase 2 courses. Once that's completed, then this paperwork is a placeholder. It holds an in-progress grade. It's just a placeholder for a couple of weeks until the registrar is able to process all your paperwork and your audit. And they'll make certain you don't have any library fines, all of those type of minute details. And what? Like middle school, right, exactly, and high school, but most definitely, this is just a placeholder, so don't panic. Very important, especially those of you that are teaching in a district right now. Once you see in SNC SIS a P for EDUC 635, once you see a P or a pass, that means you can order your transcripts. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's been one of those kinds of days, and I failed to silence my phone. You can order your transcript so you can get that huge raise with your district.
So the transcript is available, but the graduation will not be held till May. Like
Not till May.
All right,
That's the
has
problem.
it done, and
But-
you still get the transcript before May.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay, perfect.
but you can only get your transcript after you see a P grade, a passing grade for EDUC 635 in SNC SIS. You can keep checking. You don't need to send me an email. I'm not gonna keep checking to see if you passed.
When should we about, like, January?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, maybe towards the end of January, definitely. Unfortunately, fortunately, you're finishing, but being the fall semester, then the holidays occur. And then, even though the registrar is working longer than classes are held, it still takes a while. They're off for the 2-week break and then they come back. So it takes a little bit longer sometimes, for them to process your audit and give you the passing grade. So this paperwork is an incomplete in-progress conversion form, and you as a student do not sign this, but your project director does sign it. Please fill it out. And as you fill it out, oh, Kelly, you're not a student? Thank you, Michael. As you fill it out, put in your name, the subject. The course subject is EDUC. The course number is 635.
I think I've already.
The grades are, the credits, excuse me, are 3. And the course title is Professional Project. And your semester, of course, is fall 2019. You sure do. Oh, should I just sign it? Yeah, actually, just okay, I'll do that.
You know, you can do it here, so I feel that was too long. No. It's all right. It's going.
JCE,
Sorry, I feel like it.
Astro's 1. National's nothing.
My group is like, I told Carrie.
Extras are gonna take it.
It feels like, without too big, but their pitching is so good.
Challenging, but I know it. two of them and like one weekend.
Well,
Maybe call it
200.
Professional
We got
project.
34 and 24. Then watch you definitely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Integrate change.
Busy.
Before the bold line that's halfway in the middle, it says grade change from an incomplete or in progress grade to a P. A P for pass. P, just put a P in there.
How many credits is this?
3.
It's the one correction. The funny correction is, somehow,
You want to, you go here to your name.
Apparently you need your pinky toe. More crucial to balance than you'd ever think.
Today's date. Today's date. So that I can get the paperwork in and the registrar won't be whining at me. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's purpose or by accident.
The last paperwork, which will take you a bit of time, is the petition for graduation. It is very important. It's two-sided. Please fill it out. If you so choose, on the back side about the alumni information. At the top, it talks about your diploma information. This is the name that will go on your diploma. Make certain that you write it clearly and you determine which name you want, which means, do you want a middle name? Whatever your choice is, or a middle initial, it is your choice. Then, thank you. I will sign where it says signature of TED administrator. That's where I sign. But be very, very careful about how you write out your name and your address clearly, because this is where they're going to send your diploma. Where they're going to send your diploma. Write it clearly. Your diploma, your actual diploma, should arrive about a month or 2. Usually 2 months, I think it takes to arrive in the mail. Not that, I think. That's what I've seen. There you go.
I wanted my middle name.
So Cheryl, you signed this one, not the project director.
Is that the petition to graduate?
Incomplete in progress?
Right, so we still.
No, you sign it, Sarah.
Both.
Yeah, you sign it.
For instructor. Yeah.
Right, as the instructor. You are their instructor.
Maybe I could ask.
What if our address changes?
Thank you.
Cheryl,
Pardon?
what if our address is going to change?
I know.
Send it to a trust.
Do you have, yeah.
Do you have
Are
an
your
extra
parents
one
have?
of these?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I got
Really?
that.
Nope.
You know, because some people, they just regulate, they just.
You can actually call the registrar's office.
What's going on?
Okay.
I'm doing my part.
Put, if you don't have a permanent address, put what you have.
Okay.
And then if it changes, call the registrar's office. There's a form online that says change of address. And it goes out to, it's like a form that has like 6, it says 3 per page. And then they'll duplicate it. And you fill it out 3 times and then it'll go to every department at SNC.
Oh, okay.
So you can change it after that. It's okay.
And,
It's gonna change in February.
oh, in February.
And then they won't be, they won't be,
We don't
they won't
know. We don't know.
they won't go out until February. There's an actual date that they go out, and
Okay.
I think it's February 18th or something.
Is that,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so
actually-
that's 2 months.
It's
yeah.
actually a specific date every semester. It's sitting in my desk drawer, but I don't know.
Actually, get that date.
Yeah, email me and I'll get
Yeah,
happy to give it to you.
definitely.
Hoping to do Sarah, but we don't know our student ID. Should we try to put a post-it note on it to keep it on your radar?
I'll
Should I
fill it
send?
in, because I check them
Just
carefully.
to clarify.
This is your last semester, guys. You should know your
Hey,
IT
next year's
number.
and I still don't know.
800. Some of them have
Do you
eight
want me to
and
know?
nine. Eight and nine. So, would you want to send to your parents?
They just moved.
Oh, they moved too?
I know,
Okay,
and I
that's fine.
promise they'll give it to you.
No, no biggie.
I know
Then
they have
just,
their PO box, I just don't know how long they would, if they're gonna keep it for a long time.
well, just, actually send me an email. I think they were ready to go. Otherwise, we'll start looking for it. But
And then
go
I'll
to the
just
change
put
of
the
it, yeah.
Okay.
Keep on
Have
top
to write
of
it out
that
again.
when you know, when you're. Pardon? Or send it to your school, right, if you want, but,
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
no, you could do that.
Just to clarify, I want to.
Yes,
I don't need to check, but their TESOL endorsement has nothing to do with the specialization.
that has nothing to do
Okay,
with
just want to make sure
that.
I'm not checking.
That's for you to take care of at
No,
the
that part's
Department of
done. Yeah,
Ed.
No, I just wanna make sure I don't, we don't, I didn't realize there was,
Did you finish your TESOL?
yeah, it's done.
Okay.
I have my.
Do you have it on your license yet?
Oh, you do at the same time. I just wanted to make
This is
sure
for
this
a
wasn't-
Master of Arts in Teaching degree.
No, I get it. Oh, well, I do mine. Sorry.
You want yours? Somebody, I'm a good teacher, I didn't say who it was, I just said.
That's
Sorry.
Don't get me wrong, I haven't memorized it, but I know if I said SNCSIS, it's there. Don't ask me to do it.
What are you doing now? I don't think so.
Use your kids' heads.
Yeah, exactly. Driving people their civil rights.
Oh, Kelly.
I've never been asked.
I will send you, I'll send it to her.
You want to see your ID number?
Come on, Kate.
You know your ID numbers.
Well, I got close.
You guys know your ID numbers? Do you need ID numbers? You good?
I have it tattooed on me.
I expected so.
And then you told me that I had to finish the actual.
Can you
for it.
scan? Do you mind?
And then I
Or she can just.
I did it one night when I was unsober.
Me and Mr. Skyler.
And
I say right
I was watching it, so
And that, and then.
I was gonna tell they were gonna send it to
Let's do an effort.
my son's
They said they were gonna be doing better at class.
Are we
I
signing
was
this now?
just gonna do it.
I did my running one.
It's your,
I
that side.
I have pastries, so like, I was just gonna do it. And then as
Only
soon as I
if-
document, and then I just document. Right, we're gonna do.
I think it's fine.
And
What do you think about that?
I will.
I'm glad that she could. Notice I'm like, tomorrow.
If they were, they're with
I'm so glad she called because I felt awkward about calling her.
Okay.
I really
Just things I've
wanted
done.
to really good idea. Sorry. I just.
I, you know, that happened with
Those tests are.
These are all like, man, stuff like and it should be very easy, it's just one page. Right after the major.
Okay,
Should actually.
so don't panic when you go into SNCSIS and you see an in-progress grade. It's a placeholder, that's me. You actually don't sign that anyway.
This one.
Yeah, unless you have financial. That's it.
So then I wasn't sure.
Or fortunately, yeah. Actually say fortunately these days.
Just make my slides picture.
Okay.
But I should, so I'm so fortunate, so I mean.
Get a new one then.
number one here. This is the first
Oh,
one.
you're checking that, correction.
Well, yeah.
Cheryl, do you just financial aid question?
If you have financial aid or have had it in the past, please sign that.
Okay.
If you do not, then you do not sign it.
Just sign it away. And are, should we do a new form or just pass it out initial?
Oh,
I got signature happy.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. just do it. And I have two.
Did you see the far left and then you didn't show the
Yeah, I started doing that on most of us.
So I had it last time. So I just done it then.
yes, I did.
I got one of them, I put it in there.
Yeah, it's nice. I was doing yard work, doing yard work, and then I dumped the wheelbarrow over, and my dog was running, it looked like she was, so I yelled at my dog, and then I tripped, and I fell into the tile. And I thought it went into my eye. No.
Okay, very quickly.
I thought I went into my eye, like I knew that. I moved it. I don't know.
Very quickly, let's finish up. Alrighty, I know you have a lot of questions about your project. You have all worked very, very hard. I've been in touch with a lot of your, with your project directors, often about how you're coming along, and I'm very excited about our work this semester. Again, please know that if your project is not done tonight, you probably will not make it. We need 6 lessons. We need your initiative section, the unit-based initiative connections. And don't forget that you need to copy and paste your annotated bibliography into the end of your project. Now, we'll talk about the page numbers, because that is always very challenging in a moment. But as we talk about your presentation, when you present on page 40, beginning actually on page 44 to page 46 in your SNC handbook, is this project evaluation. This is the rubric that the panel uses when you defend your project. There are 3 pages. The first one evaluates your poster. The second page, on page 45, evaluates your project. And on page 46, it evaluates your presentation. The most important thing, is start off right, cool, calm, and collected, and sober. But sell it exactly. And I'll be sending you emails that says, thank you, Lorraine, just sell it. That's what we need, is if ever you have presented a project or spoke in front of a crowd, be certain that you have practiced your presentation. You may not use notes. You may not use a note card. We assume that you are very familiar with this project. You know it inside and out and are able to present it. We're going to take a look very quickly at your project presentation process, but know that after your project goes into technical review, then you can breathe a bit. Then is when I want you to begin working on your electronic poster. Your project director will approve your project for professional printing. So this next week, again, we're doing the back and forth game. As your project director reads it, give them a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. It's a very short window, but we try to avoid the Thanksgiving break so that you can have some time off with your well-deserved family and friends, but who have not seen you for months. But 1 week until next Thursday, November 7th, will be this back and forth. Once your project director approves your project, then you can take it to Paulette and get it professionally printed. I mean, excuse me, after technical review, right. Oh, yeah, just do it, whatever. Let's just get this semester over, okay? Let's just do it. Seriously, back and forth, they will approve it, to go to technical review. Next Thursday at 5 o'clock in the Reno office, we need a hard copy of your professional project to go to technical review. For those of you that live up here or distance, send it to me and I will have it printed for you. Yes, printed. I will get it printed so that it can enter technical review next Thursday, November 7th at 5 o'clock.
And in the last class, you said that it doesn't have to be in color.
And, thank you, Sarah, very good. It does not have to be in color, but if you want to print a few key pages, maybe specifically just your title page, your first page in color, do that. Your choice, but it does not have to be in color. It does not. Melissa?
Are we allowed to print in color at the SNC school?
Yes.
I don't know. Chris and Kelly?
I'm sorry?
I know.
What's the
It
question?
doesn't work well. Okay.
It doesn't.
Printing
Oh, sorry, the video.
It's not very true, and it's your responsibility. If you want it in color, you really need to print it somewhere in color and bring it. But don't waste your color printer, Melissa. It's your choice.
I'm just worried that it won't translate.
And I'm
Black and
thinking
white.
of yours, because I know you have those great keys and icons, and many students have done that in the past.
Yeah.
They're like color keys almost, so it almost has to be in color. So
Yeah.
maybe think about running over to Paulette and see if she can print it on really cheap paper and how much it might cost you, if you don't want to print it at home.
You can also go to Office Depot, and they'll print it out for you, and it might cost less, and, I mean, if it's just a draft type.
Yeah, you don't need it
Yeah,
on
I think it would still
fancy
cost
paper.
like
That's your
Yeah,
choice.
$8.
Chris?
Technical review,
Yeah.
they prefer
Like a
single-sided or double-sided?
I know.
Good question. The question was,
See, I'll figure it out.
do the professional editors prefer single-sided or double-sided? They don't care. It's your choice, whatever you want to do. And then, when you go to have it professionally printed, if you choose to use Rick's, again, that is your choice. If you want it to be printed single-sided or double-sided. Here's Ashley's, and she did it single-sided. So there's a blank page here. Know that it is your choice. Personally, I prefer back-to-back, but sometimes your projects, because of the color, they are, and this is also Molly's, yep, it's Molly's, single-sided. I think that when you are teaching, I prefer to lay it open to teach from. So I like back-to-back. That's my preference. It is your preference. It may cost you more pages though with printing. Think about that. When you exit technical review, the date listed here is December 2nd. But if you happen to get your project into the Reno office, and Nancy and I will date and time it that it comes in, if she's not there, put a post-it of when you dropped it off, and we'll trust your integrity that you're putting the accurate time on your post-it note. First in is first out. So if you happen to get it approved by your project director and dropped it off at the SNC Reno office, say Wednesday, then yours will be the first to be reviewed. If you drop it off at 5:05, hopefully not, on Thursday, yours will be the last to be reviewed, which means it'll come out of technical review later. We have a very short window during the fall semester, and therefore, when it comes out, if it comes out as late as December 2nd, then you've only got until Monday, the 9th, or Tuesday to get it professionally printed. It's a short window. When you go to professional printing, make certain you do not leave the printers without going page by page. Trust me, as soon as you get home, you'll find an error. Paulette will be more than happy to reprint and maybe rebind. Hopefully not, but make certain that A, when you send it in a PDF to the printer, or you take it in on a jump drive, make certain that you're taking in the right copy. I know, Chris went like this because we told you. We've had, well, Maureen, I think you were there that time. We had a distant student who sent it to Rick's Printing. It was beautifully written. We had it laid out for the faculty panel. We opened it up, and it was her rough draft that she had professionally printed. And we just wanted to die for her. We just felt so, so badly. Taryn, were you?
When you add in your annotated bibliography, make sure you're adding the most up-to-date format of it, because you may have like 5 different ones. That has also happened, where it was the one that wasn't edited that got put in the back of the project. So, yeah, make sure that you add that in. You might not have looked at it in like 4 months. So make sure.
Yeah, you haven't looked at it since the end of spring. Exactly. Okay, let's move. Chris.
In technical review, do the editors bring the projects back and kind of piecemeal as they're done? Or
No.
do you bring them all at once?
No, oh, I see, piecemeal, I thought you meant in parts. No, that's the good thing, and I've trained them well, because it's easier on all of us, but especially me. When your projects come out, I need at least 2 hours to go through every project to make certain that I agree with the recommendation. The professional editors do not decide who passes and who does not. They recommend. I make the final decision. But 99.9% I agree with them. And project directors, it's on you. This project should not go to technical review if you feel that it's not ready, if it's not quality. That's a really important factor, because we've had them come out of technical review and the editors have said this project should have never been submitted. Unfortunately, I don't see that process of when it goes in. I can maybe flip through it, but I can't read it, so I don't know. It's on the project directors and on you, the students. You are the graduate students that have spent so much time creating this. So to answer your question, Chris, I've trained them so that when they finish it, they send it back to me. I beat it down the hill, and let me tell you, Jim has driven down the hill many times for me to get your projects, bring it home so I can review it. And then I scan it back to you and your project director as an electronic copy, but I also leave the hard copy in the Reno office, or for those of you that live up here at the lake, I get it to you somehow. We'll meet somewhere and exchange, because it's so much easier to work off of a hard copy than the computer screen. And so I really prefer that you work off that hard copy. If you don't have time, then print a copy of your technical review. White collar crime at your school or somewhere. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that? I'm sorry. I told you we're all going to be in prison together. What are you in for?
Teaching kids.
Yeah, I was a teacher.
So anyway. So the 7 to 5 p.m. I'll have 2 hard copies that we're doing edits on the hard copy. We'll get that next edition to you. After that, we're waiting back to hear from you that the next step.
It came out.
Okay.
Don't call me, don't email me, because I don't know where they're at.
But we
And
can
I'm
encourage them to continue to work on the electronic posting.
Then, when it goes into technical review, you have some time.
Okay.
Start working on your electronic poster.
Okay.
When you finish your electronic poster, and please be very, very careful, down at the bottom I have stated, your electronic poster, you work on it, you send it to your project director, based on their background knowledge and their samples that I will have sent, approves it to be sent to me. I make the final decision. I approve your poster. I've got more students than I've ever had this semester, so you cannot send me your poster the night before you're going to present, because I may not have time to review it. I will approve your poster to professionally print after your project comes out of technical review and you make the corrections with your project director. Your project director will approve your project to be professionally printed. Project director approves the project to professionally print. I approve the poster to be professionally printed. I want you to know that I will not be in town from November the 19th through November 27th. So I will not be available during that time to review your posters. The Reno office, I've confirmed this with Nancy, will be closed from November 25th, that's Monday of the Turkey Day vacation, through the 29th, Monday through Friday. They will not be open Monday or Tuesday. So if any project directors or students want to go in and print, or project directors who want to meet your students at the Reno office, it will be closed during that time, that week. All righty.
And Cheryl, you're gone from the 19th to the 27th.
The 27th, that is correct.
Got it, thank you.
But I'm really good at looking at the posters. I really like it. I really do. But don't send me stuff that you haven't answered your rationale. Come on, you're graduate students. And make certain that you've hit spell check. Just alrighty, just to be certain. Anyway, oftentimes when students create their posters, it's kind of fun to see how they've created it, possibly to complement, as I showed you before, to complement their project with the colors, your choice. Now, here's what you need when you come to your defense. We're going to start that presentation very quickly. You need 2 bound projects of your project, 2 copies. You also need 4 11 by 17-inch copies, color copies of your poster. It doesn't need to be laminated, and it does not need to be on heavy cardstock, because as you can see, it's easier for us to just slide it into a project that we keep for reference. So 4 of these are $1. $1, that's what Paulette charges at Rick's Printing. There's several dollars, Office Depot, FedEx, Kinko's, etc. Then you will also need, bring your electronic poster on a thumb drive as a backup. You can send it also to me. Send your poster to me, and then I'll have it on my laptop so that we'll just be ready to go. Jennifer, you were concerned about the time. We move, and we do get behind, unfortunately, but we try not to. We really try to stay on schedule, half-hour increments. When we are congratulating the student before you, that's when you can swoop in and open up your poster and set out your electronic posters, or excuse me, your poster copies on the table for the panel, and your projects.
Michelle, did you mention the measurements on the 4 posters?
11 by 17.
11 by 17 inches. That's the final copy, but you know what? You don't need to worry about that because Paulette knows. She knows the size. But when you create your own poster, as I said last class period, you're going to create it in a custom size at 10.5 by 16.5. So that gives this white border for printing. And the words don't run off the side of the page. All this information is in your handbook. Alrighty, any questions? Miriam.
Did you say that we had to make an appointment to have it printed? We knew that.
You know, it is best to do that only because we have a large class. Many of us might be last minute. And also, it's just a polite thing to do, mostly because they have a business. We're just a small part of their business that they do printing for. So yes, best to make an appointment. And any questions you might have, and especially those of you that are having formatting issues, if you're able, drop by. If you're not, give Paulette a call. She does have a team behind her that is able to help more with actual formatting and technology. Tor.
I forget how it was for the annotated bibliography when we originally turned it in, but do you want, like, let's say one of the annotations finishes with like a paragraph or a little bit on one page and then it's blank? And then
stays blank.
It stays blank, right?
It stays blank.
I didn't know if that changed with this because of.
No.
So each fresh annotation should start on a
new page.
Okay.
So you've got one whole page, first page, and half a page, and then
Start
fresh
yeah.
on the next one. Make certain they're in alphabetical order.
And with all of our informational pages within our project document, it should all stay APA 1 inch, or can it be a little bit?
You can tweak that.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind that there's going to be that binder.
Yeah.
So if you cheat a little bit on the inch on the left-hand side, that's your choice. We just don't want this spiral binder cutting into your text. That's so important. So important. But then we don't want big white sections on your page either. We want you to fill up those white sections. Okay, I'm going to stop very quickly. We're going to finish this. This is the presentation, what it's going to look like for you. And I'm referring back to that first introductory PowerPoint that many of you have. And I'm looking at slide number 617, but I'm also giving you a hard copy for your reference. Right now, Jennifer, would you get this? All righty. Very quickly, you have all seen a presentation that now it's you. So, no cheering yet. Okay. Well, let's cheer. Wow, that's good. Okay. All righty. Your presentation. Can you see that, or are you all right with your, is that too dark? Okay, all righty. For your presentation, you have a half-hour block, but you have 15 minutes. As Laureen says, as I always say, to sell it. Just sell it. Because part of your grading is your presentation. And we may ask you to come back and present again if your project presentation is poor. So what you have is, of that half-hour block, you have 15 total minutes. And we divide it up into sections. As I said, no notes are allowed, but what you can do is, if you kind of have this outlined, mentally cemented, you'll know where to go next. So you start by introducing yourself, give us your name, connect the project to yourself and to your experiences and why you chose this particular topic. Then the most important thing, and I mentioned this before, is to dress professionally. You are defending your Master of Arts in Teaching project. This is extremely important. I've mentioned this before. I had a young man that showed up, and he walked in shorts and a t-shirt with a vest, and I said, I know it, he thought it was, and he said, I said, the bathroom's over there so you can change into your professional dress. He goes, oh, this is me. I said, good, see you later. You're out of here. That is such an insult, not only to us, but to himself. So, professional dress. And a word to the wise, if you haven't worn professional dress in a while, pull it out of the back of the closet and try it on. It still fits, you know? I make certain. Alrighty, oh, I love that outfit 15 years ago. Well, you guys are too young. But 15 years ago, and oh dear, it's a little snug. You want to be comfortable. Another really important thing, we know you are nervous. We understand that, and you know what? So are we. We are very nervous for you, especially your project director. We understand that, and we're pulling for you. We can't give you any hints, but when you get nervous, if you get a little bit dry in the mouth, I recommend bringing a bottle of water, and then you can hopefully not spill it on yourself, but take a quick drink, and that gives you a moment to catch your breath and to gather your thoughts. Excuse me, just a moment. Hope I didn't. I know, I was worried about that. All right, introducing yourself, about 2 minutes. That's it, of your 15, about 2 minutes. Then you're going to discuss your electronic poster. Remember, your electronic poster, as this one is going to be behind you. So you're going to go up and you are going to begin to present your poster in the order that you have practiced. That is your choice. But start, of course, with the title. Start with your title. Okay. And then continue in the order that you want, but usually we present in this order: your abstract, your project goals, your professional questions and rationale, your standards, then your content standards. But again, know that none of this can be on the card, but because you may be nervous, turn, look at your poster, and you can read the title. You can read the title. The abstract, I want you to paraphrase that because we don't have time for you to read it all. The project goals, you may read those. Those are from your proposal. You may read the project goals. The professional questions and rationale, you may turn and say, my first professional question is, and you may read the question only. You may not read the answer. You know this project, so answer the question. Your standards, if you have to, of course you can read those because we don't want you to paraphrase those. But if you have very lengthy standards, then please refrain from reading them. Do your best to highlight or paraphrase quickly so that you can move on. So you can read the title, you can read the project goals, and you can read your 2 questions, and that's it. And possibly your standards if they are lengthy. Then, after you've completed discussing your poster, which should take you about 6 minutes. Now we're about at 8 minutes of your 15. Walk over, pick up your project, and notice how this is tabbed. I want you to go through and bookmark how and where you want to discuss the most important elements of your project. So, the first bullet says, walk the audience through the project and bookmark your pages. So tell them what it's about and how it's organized. The second bullet, give an example of only one activity briefly. It's just basically a taste of your project to whet our appetite. Usually you might want to pick your best lesson. But when you do that, make certain that if this is a lesson that's towards the end of your project, then give us a little bit of a kind of pre-run what is leading up to that particular lesson. Then discuss the embedded initiative or initiatives in your project. In closing, you will say, how will it make a difference? How will it be utilized? Hopefully it will be utilized not just by you, but possibly your team, your school, your district. Or you can be like Taryn and go nationwide, right, Taryn? Which is exciting, very exciting. In your closure, mention the impact on teaching and learning. Was this a waste of your time, or do you think it will be really valuable? How will it be valuable? And end. The most important thing is to end with a thank you. So many students, and I understand, we all understand, you're so nervous that you go, okay, I got it. Okay, that's all. I'm done. Okay. No, just say thank you. That's all you need to say, and then we will clap and we know that you are done. And you will feel very comfortable. This section then should take about 6 or 7 minutes. Okay? So if you divide it up, first talk about yourself. That's an easy thing to do. Turn around, talk about the poster, walk over, pick up a copy of your project, talk about that. Tell us how this will impact schools, students, educators, and then end with thank you very much. Okay, that's it. Your graduation paperwork, I will have all of it. So you don't need to worry about it. You've completed it. Do not leave tonight without giving me your paperwork. That's so important. I've got 3 stacks here going, so you can please add it to my stacks. The only thing that you will need to do after you finish your presentation is hopefully celebrate with your family who has yes, and you can be unsober if you so choose. And then there is one last thing that you'll need to do. I will be talking to you, but you won't be hearing me because you're so excited. On page 54 of the SNC handbook, the very last page of the handbook is the exit questionnaire. And this is your opportunity to evaluate our program here at SNC and your project director. We really, really would appreciate you completing that. You complete it online and you send it to Dr. Varner electronically. You can send it to me also to make certain that it gets there. We're not going to be checking to make certain that everyone sends it in because this is an anonymous questionnaire. If you want to send it to me, that's fine. If not, Dr. Varner may not recognize your email address. So this will be your very last task. And then you can start checking SNCSIS to see if you have passed it, if they've completed your audit and you've passed. Jennifer.
During the presentation, does the panel ask questions along the way?
No, good point, and I was going to get to that and I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. During your 15 minutes, I call it your 15 minutes of fame, that's it. It's you. On stage, you're selling it. When you are done, the audience leaves and we ask you to pull up a chair and then we ask you questions about your project. Lorraine?
Does a hard copy, not a hard copy, electronic copy go to Dr. Varner?
Then, right,
Okay.
thank you for reminding me. Really important, we have a repository, as you well know, an electronic repository. We are required to keep an electronic copy of your project, not just your paper copy, but an electronic copy in our repository. So when you are done, you will complete that exit questionnaire on page 54, but then send me and Dr. Varner, the electronic copy of the copy that you sent for printing, because that was your final copy. PDF, otherwise it's good point. Okay, Robert.
We are not allowed to do any other slides than our poster be up there. Like you
No.
can't.
Oh, I see. Oh, I
When
see.
you're going to your lesson that you want everyone to look at, you can't transition the slide to say, everybody turn to page 71 and check this out.
So you have a couple of, say, graphs or something that you want to be specifically
Well,
noticed?
when I'm selling you the lesson,
Right.
can I put the lesson on the projector?
No, it's not gonna be up there. It's only here.
Just tell everyone to go to page whatever.
Okay.
Because
Your
your panel's holding
electronic
your
poster
book.
is there, right. If, for example, your whole project is about one literature book, you could bring that literature book and very quickly hold it up. If you wanted.
And haven't some people attached a flash drive?
Oh,
Yeah. To their projects?
And that is your choice. If you have a lot of handouts, for example, one of our students a few semesters ago did a flipped classroom. So a lot of her handouts and her instructions were online, so the students could access it from home. And so with the flipped classroom, she had a project like this, but then she also had a supplementary handbook that she put on a thumb drive, and we just, kind of like the old-fashioned keychain, and just put it there, right, if you so choose to do that. Okay. Totally bored you. Michael?
Cheryl, you did give us the elements involved in the initiative write-up, but do you have an example of that?
You know what? I was going to ask, I'm really putting her on the spot. Kelly shared Ellie's with me yesterday. Ellie did a really creative presentation of her initiatives. Would you mind telling us, Ellie, about that?
Which one?
The house?
The house. Okay, sure. Hang on. So I wrote an initiative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I wrote this part, and I call it my professional wellness for educators. And so down here is sort of like the foundation, like what teachers have to do in order to be healthy and fulfilled people in order to like do this job really hard. Then up here I have the standards that the growth, which is in the green. So these are the standards that the lessons are based off of, right? And that's the SEL component, and then I have just content. This is all the growth that the students do, right? And then up here are the teacher resources.
So she organized it very creatively, her initiatives, and more information into this architectural design
Yeah.
of the house.
And then there's also tables that I did. Yeah.
So it's ELA, sixth grade ELA standards based, but the initiative that she used was SEL, social emotional learning, and then she developed her own initiative, which is the PWE, which is professional wellness for educators.
That was created by her.
Which is created by her. So that's the initiative piece, and those are aligned with INTAS standards and teacher standards. So that's the initiative piece.
So then I have this matrix, which is the PWE initiatives and then the professional standards. And then I also have the,
So all of those initiatives are woven throughout her lessons. So each lesson plan that she has each of these initiative components, not all of them, most of them, woven throughout her entire unit.
so then here it's content, SEL for students, this is the growth, right? And then up here is the PWE for the teachers.
It's amazing, by the way.
So let me talk, I know, we all are, I know, I can see you're all tired, so we're rolling. Tell me, let's just very quickly share some of the initiatives. I know that many of you will have similar ones, but let's shout out some of the initiatives that you have, that you use. Math, what? Math practices?
Restorative practices?
Restorative practice, good, Bree, yeah.
Be glad.
Glad? I know there's some SEL. Technology. 21st century. Yes, a lot of 21st century, good.
Place-based.
Place-based, thank you, Chris. What else? Oh, yeah, cross-age, Tori used cross-age tutoring. Building self-reliant learners, good.
I'm using IB.
And IB, yes, you are, Melissa, absolutely. And finance, definitely.
Academic parent teacher team.
Oh,
Say it again.
is that at your, yeah, say that again.
Academic parent teacher team initiative.
Are you using that at your school?
No.
Okay.
I did
Well,
it
maybe
well.
you should.
I didn't use it exactly.
Don't buy
what-
another one of you too,
I
but
did
alright.
use it word for word in my school, but I pretty close, not knowing I was using it. So it was just something I always did with parents, and it meets a lot of the criteria that's on their national website for the initiative. So you could say closely, or basically I was, but not full.
But how exciting. Hopefully, you can initiate this at your school. Hopefully, we'll see. Good for you, Nate, thank you. Okay.
That sounds awesome.
It is
Yeah.
exciting. And you know what, again, you were kind of the creators of this, so we appreciate what you've done. Be creative in presenting it in your project, as Ellie did, if you're able to.
Let me see that rated note before you.
We're all gonna have houses now.
I know. No houses. No. Like, I know.
It's a flat.
Foundation.
No. Let's see, we'll have houses and hammers and saws and, right, exactly. All right, thank you all so much. I will be available to you, you know that. Hopefully, I won't be working with you and your project director prior to your project going to technical review, but I am available. That's part of my responsibility, so that we can get you into technical review, support you so that you finish this semester. And you finish it proud. That's the most important thing. And it's not just about the learning that you're doing for us, the requirements for SNC. It's the pedagogy that we want to embed in you, the learning that you have, your growth mindset, how you've achieved, hopefully, over this past 2 semesters. All right. Thank you all. Have a wonderful Halloween. Know that the kids will be, from tomorrow, give up teaching. You know that. And I will see you next Thursday. Thank you all.
The rest of
Yeah.